I love it. And I think because I love it so much, it doesn't matter. Oh, the question. Recovery. You have to recover differently being
A
older.
little bit longer recovery time?
Yeah, you have to pay a little more attention to that.
Something absolutely shocking just happened to Keanu Reeves, and fans around the world are freaking out. The beloved actor, known for his quiet lifestyle and humble nature, has suddenly become the center of a story no one saw coming. Whispers are swirling online, rumors are flying, and people are scrambling to discover the truth. Was it a health scare? A secret project? Or something far more personal and unexpected? Whatever it is, it's got everyone talking. You seriously won't believe what's going on with Keanu Reeves right now. Beyond the spotlight, scandals, struggles, and triumphs. Despite living in a world where image often overshadows sincerity, Keanu Reeves has quietly built a legacy as a cinematic force and a man whose humility defies Hollywood's expectations. While the public celebrates his iconic roles and calm demeanor, the journey behind the fame has been marked by moments that would have shaken even the strongest souls. Still, Keanu never lets the chaos consume him. Some of his most defining moments have come not from the silver screen, but from how he responds to being unfairly thrust into controversy. One such moment came in 2008, when he was sued by photographer Alison Silva over a 2007 car accident. Silva alleged that Keanu had injured him, claiming the incident ended his photography career. Given Keanu's spotless reputation at the time, the media swarmed around the case, curious to see how he would respond. True to his nature, he didn't react with anger or public statements. Instead, he calmly showed up in court, letting the truth speak for itself. Surveillance footage and witness testimony made it clear that Silva's claims didn't hold water. The case was dismissed, and Keanu was exonerated. But even after that victory, he refused to lash out or humiliate his accuser. He simply returned to his quiet life, leaving the drama behind. Yet just a year later, in 2009, Keanu found himself at the center of another bizarre legal battle. A woman named Karen Sala from Canada stepped forward, claiming that Keanu was secretly the father of her 4 children and demanded $3 million in child support. The claims were strange and lacked any supporting evidence. Once again, Keanu stayed composed, voluntarily taking a DNA test to put the rumors to rest. The results proved that he was not the father, and the case was thrown out. Though the accusations were baseless, they left him emotionally drained. It wasn't just about fighting legal battles. It was the pain of being targeted when he had done nothing wrong. Even as his personal life drew unwanted attention, his career also faced its share of criticism. In the early 90s, despite securing roles in films like Johnny Mnemonic and Bram Stoker's Dracula, critics weren't impressed. Many said his acting was flat, emotionally shallow, and not suited for complex roles. But Keanu didn't argue with the press or defend himself in interviews. He worked quietly, patiently, honing his craft. Everything changed in 1999 when The Matrix was released. His portrayal of Neo not only redefined the sci-fi genre but also proved he could anchor a major film with both depth and nuance. The global success of the John Wick series in the 2010s only cemented his place as one of the most beloved action stars of the era. Outside the studios, Keanu's life has long been misunderstood. Rumors of romantic ties to co-stars like Winona Ryder and Charlize Theron often circulated. With Winona, whispers began after they filmed a wedding scene in Dracula that involved a real priest, prompting jokes that they were married by accident. With Charlize, their on-screen chemistry in Sweet November fueled similar speculation, but both insisted they were just close friends. Through it all, Keanu remained unfazed by the gossip. Images of him riding the subway, eating alone on a park bench, or wearing worn-out boots have fueled the idea that Keanu Reeves is unusually frugal. But in reality, he simply doesn't crave extravagance. He lives modestly, because it reflects who he is. What many don't see is the quiet generosity behind the scenes, donating millions to children's hospitals and cancer research, or giving up part of his salary so crew members on The Matrix could be properly paid. That kind of kindness doesn't seek the spotlight. It's just part of who he's always been. Curious how he became this way? Let's take a closer look at the life that shaped him. Shadows and Sparks, The Rise of Keanu Reeves. Still carrying the weight of false accusations and public scrutiny with quiet dignity, Keanu Reeves' remarkable story finds its roots in a childhood shaped by instability and loss. Born on September 2, 1964, in Beirut, Lebanon, to English costume designer Patricia Taylor and Samuel Nolan Reeves Jr., a man of Hawaiian, Chinese, English, and Portuguese descent, Keanu's early years were anything but ordinary. His father left when he was just 3, and the final time Keanu saw him was during a brief visit to Hawaii a decade later. After the divorce, his mother led the family on a nomadic journey, from Sydney to New York, and eventually settling in Toronto, where Keanu spent most of his youth. Life at home was turbulent. Patricia married and divorced multiple times, each new chapter only deepening Keanu's sense of solitude. In school, he struggled, not because he lacked intelligence, but because dyslexia made traditional learning difficult. He bounced between 4 different high schools and was even expelled from one. But Keanu had one escape: hockey. On the ice, he came alive, earning the nickname The Wall for his skills as a goalie. He once dreamed of joining the Canadian Olympic team, but a serious injury cut that ambition short. Around the same time, something unexpected caught his attention: acting. At just 15, Keanu realized performance gave him a sense of purpose he hadn't felt before. He started landing minor TV gigs and even starred in a Coca-Cola commercial, his natural charisma already shining through. But Hollywood wasn't immediately welcoming. His agents suggested he change his name, arguing that Keanu sounded too unfamiliar. For a short time, he reluctantly went by Casey Reeves, but eventually reclaimed his birth name, a choice that would become a powerful symbol of staying true to oneself. Keanu's breakthrough came with the 1986 film River's Edge, where his portrayal of a teen grappling with a classmate's murder won over critics. Then came Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure in 1989, a quirky time travel comedy that made him a household name. Yet he resisted the easy route of typecasting, choosing roles with deeper emotional resonance. In 1991, he starred alongside his friend River Phoenix in My Own Private Idaho, a haunting film about 2 street hustlers searching for connection and belonging. That same year, he took a different path altogether in Point Break, transforming into an undercover FBI agent who learns to surf, adding physical rigor to his growing reputation as a leading man. Keanu's curiosity wasn't limited to acting. He played bass in the alt-rock band Dogstar, performing in small venues with quiet enthusiasm, never treating fame as something to be flaunted. But it was speed, in 1994 opposite Sandra Bullock, that launched him into the action hero stratosphere. A runaway bus rigged to explode if it dropped below 50 miles per hour, made for edge-of-your-seat cinema, and Keanu's calm intensity electrified audiences. But just as his career soared, tragedy found him again. That same year, his closest friend, River Phoenix, died of a drug overdose outside the Viper Room in Los Angeles. The loss devastated Keanu. He rarely spoke about it, instead bearing his grief in work, quietly honoring his friend's memory with each role that followed. His path in Hollywood was paved with setbacks and sorrow, but Keanu walked it without complaint, winning hearts not just with his performances, but with the grace and humility that defined his very presence, on and off the screen. But what kind of strength lets a man rise through heartbreak and loss without ever showing the cracks? Stay tuned to find out. Keanu Reeves, Love, Loss, and the Quiet Weight of Purpose. Keanu Reeves has always worn fame differently. Unlike many Hollywood stars whose lives unfold like scripted dramas, Keanu's story has been carved by silence, resilience, and an unshakable sense of introspection. His journey through personal heartbreak and quiet triumph has turned him into something rare in the entertainment world, an enigma we can't help but admire. In 1998, Keanu met Jennifer Syme, a young and bright assistant to director David Lynch. Their connection sparked during a party for his band, Dogstar. What started as a casual romance quickly deepened. By 1999, the two were expecting their first child. But joy turned to devastation on Christmas Eve when their daughter was stillborn 8 months into the pregnancy. The loss was unbearable. Though they tried to navigate the grief together, the weight was too much, and their relationship dissolved in the aftermath. Still, their bond never fully broke. In early 2001, there were signs of reconciliation. They had spent time together just a day before tragedy struck again. On April 2nd, Jennifer was driving through Los Angeles when she lost control and crashed into a row of parked cars. She wasn't wearing a seatbelt, and the collision was fatal. Keanu was devastated. He served as a pallbearer at her funeral, where Jennifer was laid to rest beside the daughter they had lost. The sorrow ran deep. Production on the Matrix sequels loomed, but Keanu needed space to grieve, to reflect. As his Dogstar bandmate Brett Domrose later said, he needed time.
The Matrix changed my life, and then over these years.
Despite the heartache, Keanu never fully withdrew from the people who mattered. He found solace in his friendships, some fleeting, others enduring. Among them, his quirky and heartfelt connection with Winona Ryder remains one of the most unexpected and charming. The two had starred in Bram Stoker's Dracula in 1992, where in one scene, their characters were wed by a real Romanian priest. Over the years, Winona has joked that the marriage might legally count, and Keanu, always amused, plays along. It's an odd bond, but one that reveals the warm, humorous side he so rarely shows the public. His heart remained open, even if guarded. He was linked to model and actress China Chow for a time, and maintained a close relationship with director Brenda Davis, serving as godfather to her child. But it wasn't until 2009 that something deeper began to grow again. That year, Keanu met artist Alexandra Grant at a dinner party. Their connection was intellectual first. They collaborated on 2 books before the friendship gradually evolved. A decade later, in 2019, the two stepped out publicly as a couple. Fans cheered not just for the relationship itself, but for what it symbolized. A man who had known so much pain was finally letting love back in. Though Keanu rarely discusses religion, his view of the world has always been spiritually rich. When asked about faith, he said he believes in God, faith, inner faith, the self, passion, and things that give meaning. While he doesn't follow any specific religion, his time filming Little Buddha left a lasting impression. The teachings of Buddhism, impermanence, compassion, self-awareness, spoke to him deeply. For Keanu, they weren't just spiritual ideas, but practical insights into the fragility and beauty of being human. Even science has taken note of his cultural impact. In 2023, researchers named a newly discovered fungal-killing compound, Keanumycins. Like the actor himself, efficient, powerful, and quietly revolutionary, the compound does its job with precision. The tribute was quirky but fitting, and Keanu responded with his characteristic humility and surprise. In 2024, he offered a rare glimpse into his inner thoughts during an interview where he admitted, "I'm thinking about death all the time." He wasn't being morbid, rather, he viewed it as a motivator, a lens through which to appreciate every breath and every connection. Given all that he has endured, it's no surprise that mortality is never far from his mind. And yet this awareness doesn't paralyze him. If anything, it fuels him to explore new experiences. That same year, he took a bold step into an entirely different arena, motorsports. At the age of 60, Keanu entered the Toyota GR Cup North America, racing at the legendary Indianapolis Motor Speedway. He didn't win. In fact, he finished 25th and 24th in his 2 events. But winning wasn't the point. For Keanu, it was about pushing boundaries, chasing adrenaline, and trying something he'd never done before. It was one more way to remind himself, and the rest of us, that life is meant to be lived fully, even when it hurts. Whether he's co-authoring books with Alexandra, revving engines on the racetrack, or quietly supporting friends behind the scenes, Keanu Reeves moves through the world with a kind of quiet reverence. He doesn't demand attention, yet he commands it. He doesn't preach, yet his life speaks volumes. Through grief and growth, his story continues to unfold, not as a neatly packaged Hollywood tale, but as something raw, real, and deeply human. Keanu Reeves's quiet acts of philanthropy. Continuing this legacy of selfless contribution, Keanu Reeves' efforts away from the camera reveal a man deeply shaped by personal trials. His sister's long fight with leukemia inspired him to quietly establish a private cancer foundation. Its mission focused on supporting children's hospitals and advancing cancer research. In June 2020, he stepped in as a volunteer at Camp Rainbow Gold in Idaho, dedicating time to children battling serious illness. That same year, Onco Daily named him among the top 100 most influential celebrities in oncology, a rare recognition for someone who's never sought praise for his giving. Keanu once remarked, "Money is the last thing I think about," and his actions echo that. While stories swirl about him giving away up to $125 million from the Matrix profits to crew members, the truth is more grounded. He willingly gave up a portion of his profit share so the special effects team could have the budget they needed to bring the film's vision to life. One day on set, after hearing that a crew member was struggling with a family issue, he handed the man $20,000. No fanfare, just compassion. And when The Matrix Reloaded wrapped in 2003, he surprised all 12 stuntmen with Harley-Davidsons as a heartfelt thank you. Fast forward to John Wick. Chapter 4. In 2023, Keanu partnered with director Chad Stahelski and jiu-jitsu expert Dave Camarillo to auction a signed training GI, raising funds for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. After filming ended, he gifted personalized Rolex submariners to his core stunt team and gave extra special T-shirts that counted their on-screen deaths. In 2024, he inked a one-day deal with Canada's Windsor Spitfires, auctioning signed memorabilia to support mental health programs in Windsor, Essex, proving once more that his heart for giving has no off-season. The quiet enigma of Keanu Reeves. Flowing naturally from his generous acts behind the scenes, Keanu Reeves remains one of Hollywood's most quietly fascinating figures. Often described as the ultimate introvert, Time magazine once labeled him exactly that, an actor who says little but does much. Those who work closely with him echo similar thoughts. Francis Lawrence, who directed Constantine, praised Keanu's tireless work ethic and generous spirit, though co-star Shia LaBeouf, after more than a year of working together, admitted, "I don't really know him that much." Lawrence Fishburne, his longtime Matrix co-star, offered deeper insight in 2023, calling him kinder than people think, gentle, and incredibly smart. Comedian Aziz Ansari once joked that Keanu might not even be human, just an angel pretending for the sake of his roles. Hiroyuki Sanada, from John Wick 4, captured his essence best. Deeply humble with everyone around him, yet relentlessly hard on himself. But Keanu's creative soul stretches far beyond acting. In 2011, his love of motorcycles led him to co-found Arch Motorcycle Company with Gard Hollinger, building bespoke bikes for fellow enthusiasts. He also launched company films with friend Stephen Hamill, creating space to develop films outside Hollywood's usual mold. Then, in 2017, his passion for words and images came to life with the founding of X Artist Books, alongside Jessica Fleischman and longtime friend Alexandra Grant. Together, they published poetic and experimental works, including Ode to Happiness and Shadows, both blending Keanu's reflective writing with Grant's evocative visuals. In 2010, a photo of Keanu alone on a park bench, sandwich in hand and seemingly lost in thought, went viral, sparking the Sad Keanu meme. Fans turned June 15th into Cheer Up Keanu Day. When asked, he simply replied, "Man, I was just eating. I was hungry." His genuine humility turned him into the internet's boyfriend, earning titles like Hollywood's Nicest Guy from The Guardian, BBC, Vox, and Screen Rant. In 2019, during an appearance on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, Keanu delivered a moment of unexpected poignancy. When asked what happens after we die, he quietly responded, "I know that the ones who love us will miss us." Social media exploded, calling it a rare, transcendent truth. But what makes a Hollywood icon with blockbuster hits still feel like the humblest guy in the room? Stay glued. Keanu Reeves. From Hollywood icon to humble hero. Since stepping into the limelight in 1985, Keanu Reeves has carved out a career defined not only by legendary roles, but by a quiet humility that continues to inspire. His filmography reads like a timeline of modern cinema's greatest hits, from River's Edge and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure to the groundbreaking Matrix and pulse-pounding John Wick franchise. He voiced Duke Kaboom in Toy Story 4 in 2019.
Duke Kaboom, Canada's greatest stuntman. Huh. Oh yeah. Ha. Huh. Yes.
And his performance in John Wick. Chapter 3. Parabellum earned him dual nominations at the People's Choice Awards. Accolades followed him 4 MTV Movie Awards, Saturn Award nods, and in 2024, Goldhouse named him one of the most influential Asians of the year. He even received the prestigious Inkpot Award at San Diego Comic-Con for his lifetime impact on film and pop culture. But it's beyond the camera where Reeves truly shines. In 2019, when a United Airlines flight made an emergency landing in Bakersfield, he didn't retreat to first class. He organized transport for fellow passengers and entertained them with trivia and music. That same year, filming Bill and Ted Face the Music, he noticed a house with a banner that read, "You're breathtaking."
You're breathtaking.
A nod to his viral Cyberpunk 2077 moment, and stopped to sign it in person. In 2022, after a casual chat in a UK pub, he surprised a couple by attending their wedding. And in 2023, before his Dogstar concert, he played catch with a young boy named Elijah, who later called it the best moment of his life. Still, Reeves hasn't slowed down. In 2025, he returns to John Wick and Ballerina and co-stars in Good Fortune, directed by Aziz Ansari. He's stepping onto Broadway in Waiting for Godot, and Netflix is adapting his own comic into a film and anime series. Even as he branches into producing a documentary on martial arts legend Benny Urquidez, Reeves remains grounded, a man who has faced deep personal losses, including the stillbirth of his daughter and the death of his partner, yet continues to lead with empathy, generosity, and strength. But what do you think drives a man who's faced tragedy, lived humbly through fame, yet keeps returning with unstoppable force to Hollywood and beyond?